Hey everyone, what is going on? Raven here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something quite interesting, and that is a man with the name of William Stanley Milligan. Now, he's also known as Billy Milligan. Now, here's what's so interesting, or not interesting, about this man. He was known as a campus grapist. I'm going to say grapist because that's what a lot of people on TikTok use for people that force themselves on other individuals. Okay, so the campus grapist. And he was the subject of a highly publicized court case in Columbus, Ohio in the late 1970s. He committed several felonies, including armed robbery. He was arrested for 3 grapes on the campus of Ohio State University. Psychologists diagnosed him with a dissociative identity disorder. His lawyers pled insanity, claiming that 2 of his alternate personalities committed the crimes without Billy being aware of it. He was the first person diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder to raise such a defense, and the first acquitted of a major crime for this reason. And he spent a decade in psychiatric hospitals. Now, let's go right into the incarceration. So, Billy was sent to a series of state-run psychiatric hospitals, like the Athens State Hospital, where, by his report, he received very little help. While he was in these hospitals, Billy reported having 10 different personalities. These 10 were the ones known to psychologists. Later on, an additional 14 personalities labeled the undesirables were discovered. Among the first 10 were Arthur, a prime and proper Englishman who was an expert in science, medicine, and hematology; Alan, a manipulator; Tommy, an escape artist and technophile; Reagan Vedaskovich, a Yugoslav communist who Billy claimed had committed the robberies in a kind of Robin Hood spirit; and Adalana, a 19-year-old lesbian who was shy, lonely, and introverted, who cooked for all the personalities that craved attention or affection, and allegedly committed the grapes. He received treatment from Dr. David Call, who diagnosed the additional 14 personalities. Now, David Call was a psychiatrist. In 1986, Billy had escaped the facility where he had been committed. During this time, he went by an alias known as Christopher Carr and might have been guilty of abducting his roommate and killing him. One of 2 murders he is a suspect of. Now get this. He was released in 1988 after a decade of psychiatric hospitals. On August 1st, 1991, he was discharged from the Ohio mental health system in the Ohio courts. In 1996, he lived in California where he owned Stormy Life Productions and was going to make a short film, which he apparently never made. His location thereafter remained for a long time unknown, his former acquaintances having lost contact with him. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys think that, multiple psychiatrists are diagnosing him with multiple personalities? Do you think that this is what actually happened? Or do you think that this was just a good lie? I'm not sure. But let's lead into his early life. So he was born February 14th, 1955 in Miami Beach to Dorothy and Johnny. Now, Dorothy grew up in Ohio, farm country, lived in Lancaster with her first husband. They divorced and she moved to Miami area where she worked as a singer. She began living with Johnny, who they ended up married. Now, they had 2 other children, a son named Jim in October of 53, and a daughter, Kathy Jo, born in December of 56. Now, the father, Johnny, struggled with fatherhood, and according to a man named Daniel Keyes, meeting the medical expenses overwhelmed Johnny. He borrowed more, gambled more, drank more. He was hospitalized for acute alcoholism and depression in 1958. In what appeared to be a suicide attempt, according to Keyes, Dorothy found him slumped over the table, half a bottle of scotch and an empty bottle of sleeping pills on the floor. A few months after this attempt, January 17, 1959, he died of suicide from carbon monoxide poisoning. Dorothy then took her children, moved away from Miami, and eventually returning to Lancaster, Ohio, There she remarried her ex-husband. This marriage lasted about a year. In 1962, she met Chalmer Milligan, who ended up being, Billy's father or adopted father, I don't know. So, Chalmer's first wife, Bernice, divorced him on the grounds of gross neglect. He had a daughter, Chala, the same age as Billy, and another daughter who was a nurse. Dorothy and Chalmer married in Circleville, Ohio, in October 27, 1963. At his later trial, Chalmer was blamed for abusing Billy. Keyes claimed that Billy had multiple personalities from a much earlier age, however, with his first three, no-name boy, Christine, and Sean, appearing by the time he was 5 years old. So, is his father to blame for personalities being discovered or starting to come forward? It's hard to say for sure how the personalities came to be. It doesn't look like that there's anything about how it began or why they think it happened, anything like that. So in 1975, Milligan was imprisoned at Lebanon Correctional Institution in Ohio for rape and armed robbery. He's released on parole in early 1977, but in October of that same year, he was arrested for raping 3 women on the Ohio State University campus. He was identified by one of his victims from existing police mugshots of SOs and from fingerprints lifted from another victim's car. Since he used a gun during the crime and guns were found in a search of his residence, he had violated his parole. He was indicted on 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of aggravated robbery, and 4 counts of rape. He was placed in Ohio State Penitentiary pending trial. His defense underwent for preparing for his defense, he underwent a psychological examination by a man named Dr. Willis C. Driscoll, who diagnosed him with acute schizophrenia. He was then examined by psychiatrist Dorothy Turner at the Southwest Community Mental Health Center in Columbus, Ohio. During this examination, she concluded that he had dissociative identity disorder. Now, Billy's public defenders, Gary Schweikart and Judy Stevenson, pleaded an insanity case, and he was committed until such a time as he regained sanity. And to finish up with Billy's life, he died of cancer at a nursing home in Columbus, Ohio, on December 12, 2014, where he was only 59 years old. I don't know why he was in a nursing home at 59 years old. I don't know if that's just because as part of his treatments afterward, he had to go because it became out of control, and maybe without constant care he wouldn't take medication. Why he was in a nursing home, I don't know. But the fact that he died of cancer, and I don't know what type of cancer as of this moment. Now, if anyone does know any information about what sort of cancer he had, let me know what you guys have found in the comment section down below. And also, this story was hugely publicized. And when I say hugely publicized, I mean like this man was all over the TV, everything. And, the way he talked in some of his, interviews and things like that, he literally sounded like he had no idea. Now, could that be a play? Who knows? Could that be that he really had no idea what was happening? I don't know. The only ones that really know for sure is Billy himself. And unfortunately, I say only ones because it's not like Billy was the only one to go into his mind. It's like the psychiatrist tried giving him medication and clearly didn't work. And maybe it had something to do with his parents when, he was young. So maybe his dad knew the truth, and when he died, it just spiraled things out of control. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think in this comment section down below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!